For volleyball. Hello, everyone. Jacob Seidel, along with Donovan Mann in the throw center as the Falcons will take on the University of North Carolina at Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, I'm expecting a really good one here. These are two evenly matched teams here, Jacob. Of course, the Bowling Green State University Falcons, they're currently 1-2 on the season. They went to the Golden Dome Invitational last week, won the opener for that one, 3-1 over Wright State before they fell to LaSalle in the early morning start on Saturday. That was a 3-2 final one, and one where it was a back-and-forth affair. And then they had a very disappointing outcome, to say the least, against Notre Dame. They did manage to take set 3 against them, but they really that seemed like all they had was that win in set 3, and then in set 4 they were really no contest. There was a 25-8. But, you know, as I was saying in that broadcast, since I was there as well, you learn a lot more in losses like that than you do in victories like that. So I'm sure they knew a lot. This is a really good coaching staff for the Falcons. There's a lot they can pull from that last one.
And we talked when we broadcasted the exhibition match here against Gannon about this, but of course Callie Simon has gone on to do bigger and better things. And Julia Walls now wearing the black jersey for the Bowling Green Falcons and doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, Julia Walls has taken over the libero. She was actually part of the all-invitational team for that Golden Dome. She and Caitlin Meyer, had a really good outing as well in that entire invitational. She and Petra Androva were really the offensive driving force for the Falcons. And then another player you've just got to look out for this Falcon team as well is Isabelle Marciniak. The senior setter has really played an important part all the way back to her freshman year. Back in 2016, where she had played in 22 matches and 69 sets, kind of took over that position, and she was that BGSU MAC All-Freshman of the, or she was BGSU MAC Freshman of the, or she was
MAC Freshman.
She was the MAC Freshman of the Year. I have that written down really weirdly. Oh, here we go. She was the first MAC Freshman of the Year since 1996 for the Bowling Green State University Falcons, and she's pretty much played in almost every match, almost every set since that moment. She's a very crucial part of this Falcon team, and you know, she's the trusted captain. You can just see it on the court. She is the one that the coaches will go to. She is the one that if they need something, they are the first one. She is the first one that the staff will consult. You've seen head coach Danielle Tomich pull her to the side and say, hey, at the timeout, and spend a good 30 seconds just discussing strategy with her before the rest of the team is even addressed. So she's a very important part of this team. I'm impressed with how she's gone, and honestly, she's a really good leader for this team as well. No matter the score, even in that 25-8 loss last time out, you could just tell she was still just as intense. She was still just trying to fire up the crowd, the team. She was just all in, and she will continue to be that way as well for the defending MAC regular season champion Bowling Green State University Falcons.
And on to the other side, the Charlotte 49ers, 3-1 on the season. They swept their own home invitational, beating Gardner-Webb, Kent State, and Eastern Kentucky, only losing 2 sets in that entire span. And then they lost on Tuesday in straight sets at Duke.
Yeah, they've also played an ACC opponent since the Falcons, played an ACC opponent in Notre Dame. Yes, Notre Dame is ACC in volleyball. They've got like 20 conferences, I don't know. And then, of course, Duke being an ACC team as well in Durham, North Carolina. Duke's a good volleyball school. You just look at the box score for that one. They actually took them to extra points in that first set. 29-27 was the victory for Duke, and then it was a couple of 25-17 losses for the 49ers. They're no pushover of a team, however. They can light it up offensively. They can do it with the best of the best. You take a look at their leader. It was Sydney Rowan with 11 kills in that one. Also, Tyra Galloway had 7 blocks. They are a team that likes to get it up in the net. They are a team that likes to go up and block you, and that's something the Falcons will have to look out for here in this upcoming match.
And I'm looking for the all-time series for Bowling Green versus Charlotte, but I can't seem to find it. Maybe you know something offhand, Donovan, being the Charlotte, North Carolina native.
Of course you would assume that. What, all people from Charlotte know everything that goes on in the Queen City? The Queen City?
You mean Cincinnati?
Well, we're not going to get into this game. Anyway, we got about 3 minutes here till the first serve of this one. The Falcons will be in their home white with the orange trim. And, of course, Julia Walls will be wearing that black libero jersey That also functions kind of as the black alternative jerseys that everybody has when they decide to wear those ones. It's got orange numbers and letters. Looks like UNC Charlotte will be in their greens with the, I guess they call that bronzish gold trim, numbers and letters on that one as well. A player you really need to watch out for on the UNC Charlotte side is their block master, Imani Mcarthur. She's got 11 blocks already on the season, one of which was a solo block, I believe, and the rest were also. She's not reliable too much with the offense. She's only got 7 kills on the season. That's nothing compared to, of course, Tyra Galladay. She's second on this team with 45, and then Sydney Rowan with 49. Those two are your offensive forces. But when it comes to trying to break down the defense, watch out for Imani Mcarthur with those blocks. The freshman from Summerville, South Carolina, who came from Ashley Ridge High School. She can really light it up there at the net.
Yes, and a few other players, a lot of kills going around, but like Galloway and Ronan, I believe is how you pronounce that. Let me check my pronunciation guide real quick. Rowan, yes. Both up in the 40s with kills. They lead the team. Galloway has 45 and Rowan has 49 on the season. Two big offensive threats coming off the 49ers front line.
Yeah, certainly, and it's going to be a really good matchup. I expect this one, much like the first matchup today between the Butler Bulldogs and the Cleveland State Vikings. The Vikings walked away with a 3-2 win in that one, forcing that set 5 after a dominant sets 2 and 4. Much like that one, I expect there to be a 5-set match here too. I wouldn't necessarily say the Falcons want to go to 5, but we could very well see a 5-set match here as well. All right, with that, we'll step aside for just about 30 seconds, and when we come back, we'll have the play-by-play. You're listening to BGSU Volleyball right here on the YouTube live stream as well as Mixler.com. And we are back out here in the Stroh Center. The starting lineups are about to get announced to the public here at the Stroh Center. A good mix of orange and brown here. Really love to see it. And even a couple of UNC Charlotte players, or rather fans. And that's pretty interesting because Charlotte by far is the farthest team away. Actually, looks like we will actually pause for the national anthem. We will be right back. That actually caught me a little off guard there. Normally during these invitationals, they don't ever do it. They only do the national anthem for every other match. So I was kind of caught off guard that they decided to do it for this one as well. Anyway, we will now move on to those starting lineups as we had promised. First for the visiting 49ers of Charlotte.
And for the 49ers is going to be Number 3, Mackenzie Rayum. Number 7, Sydney Rowan. Number 8, Lana Straycheck. Number 11, Nalani Lyde. Number 13, Yumi Garcia. Number 15, Tara Galloway. And number 18, Jocelyn Stoner. The Charlotte 49ers are coached by Karen Weatherton in her 5th season.
And then for your Bowling Green State University Falcons, the orange and brown will be looking like this. It is going to be Isabelle Marciniak, the setter, starting out there today. She is a senior. Then freshman Petra Indrova, an outside hitter / right side freshman from the Czech Republic. Lexi Sauber, the middle blocking freshman from Waukegan, Ohio. Then next to Sauber, it's going to be the outside hitting Caitlin Meyer, the sophomore from Pemberville, Ohio, and a MAC all-freshman first-team selection last season. Katie Kidwell will be starting middle blocker as well for the Falcons. Again, another force in the middle. It's going to be interesting to see that block party between these two squads, as both teams like to defend the net very well. She, by the way, Katie Kidwell, a 6-foot-tall junior from Waseca, Illinois. And then it looks like Jacqueline Askin, an outside hitter from Louisville, Kentucky, the junior standing at 6'1", will be starting as well. And then, of course, the libero, Julia Walls from Brooklyn, Ohio. The sophomore getting her first official season as the libero. Again, the Falcons are coming off of 2 really good back-to-back liberos. And Julia Walls looking to continue that kind of trend. You go back in 3 years ago when it was Madeline Garda, led the NCAA in digs and digs per set. She set the school record for digs in a single season, and I believe maybe even digs in a career, if I'm thinking correctly. And Callie Simon came right back the next season, did the very same thing. And then we had one more season of Callie Simon where she broke her record again. And of course, both years she was the MAC Defensive Player and MAC Player of the Year. The first time a libero in the MAC had won that award, the MAC Player of the Year, that is.
Yeah, it's hard to replace a player like that, but the Falcons seem to have done a very good job. Walls has had a good season thus far. As you said, she was added to the Golden Dome Invitational team. And I'm looking to see a good match from her tonight.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a pretty good match this afternoon between these two squads in general. They'll take the court and they will get ready to go here. As Falcons 49ers right here on Mixler.com and the YouTube live stream in partnership with the Bowling Green State University Athletics and Communication Department.
And real quick note, we said in our broadcast of the Butler-Cleveland State game, we weren't sure which game the banner raising is going to be done at. It is the Butler game tonight at 7, so if you are in the area and you would like to see the new banner for the 2018 regular season MAC champs, make your way on out to the Stroh Center.
And of course, we will have it right here on the live YouTube stream as well. So it looks like it will be the 49ers going back to serve to start this one out. As we await Yami Garcia, the libero, to get set. Just going to go around to every player here, though, and give them their own special little handshake. All right. I believe she'll be the one going back to serve as well. Actually, no. We finally see who's going to serve. It's going to be Mackenzie Rayum. Mackenzie Rayum, appearing in her 5th match and 15th set, puts this one up and over the net. Meyer digs it out. Here comes Marciniak to set up Indrova. Indrova's going to be dug out by Garcia. And now the setup in the middle, that's number 11, Liddy. Here comes the setup in the middle, thrown down hard off of Julia Walls. I believe that was Tyra Galloway. Tyra Galloway getting the first kill and the first point of the match here between these two. It's 1-0 UNC Charlotte. Back to serve will be Rayum again. Dug out lowly by Meyer, but kept alive. Here's going to be set up for Indrova. Indrova's blocked. Dug out by, I believe that was Askin. Set up now for Sauber, and Sauber off of her. Actually, yes, they're going to call that there was actually a UNC player in, the UNC Charlotte player in the net. And now it's 1-1. Falcons get the side out, and Paulina Aikabelli will check in for the first time here. And she will replace Caitlin Meyer. And this is a regular rotation we do see. Garcia digs this one out. Sauber throws it right back down, but it's kept alive by the 49ers. Walls digs out the attack attempt there. Go across court to Askin. Askin goes soft, bouncing off a couple 49er players and going down to the court.
And that was perfect deception right there. She wound back like she was going to try to let it fly as hard as she could, just knocked it over and caught 3 separate 49ers off guard.
2-1 Falcons on top. Isabelle serves. Garcia digs it out, running into one of her own players. Here comes the setup now for Rowan. Walls digs it out. Here comes Marcia for Sauber with the kill. Another player I was really impressed with in that Golden Dome Invitational. She seemed to be involved in a lot of plays. The stats don't show it, but Lexi Sauber had a pretty good match. She did have 6 blocks in that entire Invitational, and right now she's coming out early with a couple of kills. 3-1 Falcons. Here comes the setup now for Rowan. Dug out by Isabelle, but miscommunication with Isabelle and Julia Walls causes this one to go awry and into the stands. So Falcons drop the point there to the 49ers, who now come back within 1.
Yeah, that's not something you usually see from the Falcons. They're usually pretty good at communicating who's going to go for the dig, but it is still early in the morning for some of these players.
Marciniak is going to get the tip here to, that is Askin, and now we see the throwdown here by Kyra Galloway. And Galloway will tie it up here. 2 straight points there for the 49ers, and then now back to serve again will be Rowan. We're knotted up at 3. Here in set 1, Askin digs that one out. Petra Androva is going to go ahead and give her the ball to put back over. Dug out by Garcia. Here comes the setup now. That's going to be Lid. Now it is thrown down just out of bounds, and the Falcons will get the point with no tip. So on the side out, Julia Walls will go back to serve. Back to serve will be Walls. Up and over. It's going to be dug out by Rowan. Set up here now for Lyde. Lyde. Dug out by Isabelle. Here comes the setup. Marciniak is going to go for Askin. It's dug out. Garcia. She'll set up Lyde again. Lyde. Marciniak. Quick dig out. Askin keeps it alive, and then just bumping it over for a free play is Isabelle. Here comes the setup in the middle down. Throwing it down hard is Tyra Galloway. Tying it back up at 4.
And Galloway, one of the players I said look out for, came into this match with 45 kills for second on the Charlotte team, and she just showed why she has such a high number so early in the season.
Petra Androva with the first kill for her in this match as she gets the beautiful feed there by Marciniak. And Petra Androva, she is, I think, definitely the future of this Falcon offense. She had a pretty good match in that Invitational, and then, or correction, in the exhibition, and then in the Invitational, there was only one team that could contain her, and that was Notre Dame, but she had, I believe it was somewhere near 17 kills in the second match of that Invitational against LaSalle. Here comes the setup on the slide. It's going to be Stoner. Kept alive, obviously, Isabelle digs. It's going to be Askin who digs that, who sets that one up. Now we're going here for Lyde. Lyde blocked to the net, kept alive there by the 49ers. Kidwell was involved on the block. Once again, it's going to go to Lyde, and Lyde beats the block this time and gets the kill. We're tied at 5.
And that's all just grit and determination there by Charlotte. They want to stay competitive with the Bowling Green Falcons, who are a really good team. Charlotte's a really good team, too, playing out of Conference USA.
Imani Mcarthur will check in now for the first time. Already mentioned her being a blocking force out there with 11 on the season. She'll check in. She's got the height, too, at 6'3", part of playing into that. This one, she's involved on the tip from the kill attempt there. Comes the setup in the middle for number 18, Jocelyn Stoner, who will get the kill and give the 49ers their second lead of the match. Both have been at 1 point. Falcons came back quickly after the 49ers got the first point to give them a 1-0 lead. And now we'll see if the Falcons can respond again. Anika Wetterstrom serves this one up. It's going to go over here to Askin. Askin tipped by the block, and down it goes for the kill. BG will tie it back up at 6. We see Askin will go back to serve now for the Falcons. On the side out, Caitlin Meyer will rotate in for Paulina Isabelle to play the front of the net. Askin serves. This one will go right back to the Falcon side. Kersey Shaw will take care of it as Marciniak says set up Meyer. Meyer off of Garcia and into the stands. Again, Caitlin Meyer. She actually led this team last season in digs, or actually, correction, kills, if I could get my notes right here. And so she's a killing machine. She's a killer queen for this team. She did show that all throughout the Invitational as well last weekend. Sorry, starting off here. So you see the kill here for the 49ers. Going off of the hands, I believe, of Walls and well past and out of bounds. We're tied at 7 again.
And so far, this has been a very well-matched game for both teams. Both teams are getting up front, getting those hard kill attempts, and getting up trying to get those blocks. And it's just hard to tell which one's going to have the advantage here in this first set.
On the side out, Taylor Haberlin will rotate in for the Falcons, replacing Jacqueline Askin. Walls will dig this one out. Here comes Marciniak for Meyer. Meyer just goes a little bit too far, trying to go cross court with that one, so 49ers regain the lead at 8-7. Falcons under head coach Daniela Tomic in her 8th season, joined by associate head coach Alex DiPalumbo, and I believe there was also assistant coach Allison Cook. Here comes the setup now, blocked to the net. Kidwell and Meyer on the attack attempt there that was Imani Mcarthur trying to throw that one down, but good blocking there by the Falcons. Again, Katie Kidwell can host her own individual block party, and there we see it, her involved on the block there. Kidwell will be back to serve. 8-8 your score. This one's going to be dug out by Sophie Perns on the kill attempt. Shaw gets the first touch, and now this one's going to be put over for Meyer. Free play, and now we set up Rowan. Rowan's blocked at the net, but Falcons end up with it. Marciniak, she's going to go to Meyer again. Meyer's tipped by the block. Garcia keeps that one up. Here we go now again to Rowan. Rowan blocked to the net. It's Sauber and Marciniak. We were all tied. Or actually, it's actually 9-8 Falcons on top by 1. So Kidwell will go back to serve again. She puts this one up and over. Just a little bit too far, though, going for that sideline there, and they 49ers wisely let it go. Tied at 9 apiece now. Kidwell will rotate out on the regular rotation as I believe it'll be Isabelle, or correction. I believe it was Kirsty Shaw who rotated back in. Back to serve is going to be Garcia. Shaw digs it out. Here comes Marciniak with the deception move. Pretty good one, but Rowan will dig it out. Here comes the setup for Rowan after Garcia, who's run over, gets back down, and then Sauber gets the loose ball to throw it down with the one hand. Just a broken defensive play there after Garcia tripped over what looked like Anika Wetterstrom. And so Falcons benefit a scrambling 49er defense. It's now 10-9 Marciniak to serve up over the net. Dug out here by Perrins. Setup now, it's going to be Rowan. Rowan tipped at the net. Falcons will keep it alive. Here comes the setup for Meyer. Meyer's blocked to the net. Kept alive. Going in here in the middle, that's going to be Tyra Galloway. And Galloway starting off strong here early, getting it tied at 10-10. And I believe that'll be Galloway's 4th kill already. So definitely keep an eye on that. She's doing it on a perfect hitting percentage. 4 attempts, 4 kills. Back to serve, I believe that's going to be number 3, Mackenzie Raoun. As point BG is a service error and goes way too far. Falcons back on top again by 1.
Now each team with a service error. We saw a lot of service errors in the first match of this tournament. Hopefully that doesn't turn into a whole theme of the Invitational.
Ikebelli will serve after she rotates in for Caitlin Meyer. Jacqueline Aspinall rotates in for Tara Haviland. Free ball given up here. Walls over to Petra Androva from Marciniak. And off of the block, it goes way too far. And goes from one side of the court to the other and out of bounds. So Falcons up by 2 now. It's 12-10. Ikebelli will serve again. Paulina Ikebelli, that is. It's a good serve, but a diving Perrins keeps that one in. Tip to the block. Marciniak gets to it. Ikebelli, she'll serve up Askin. Askin past the block. Garcia serves it back. Sauber tries to tip it back down. She does, but it's saved. Here comes the setup now. That's for Perrins. Marciniak, wall. She's going to go here for Askin. Askin. And we're going to see an error here. Getting it up and into the net were the 49 players. So that's going to be 13-10. Falcons up by 3, and Ikebelli will go back to serve again. Here in set number 1, Falcons leading by 3. Ikebelli serves it up. Here comes the setup now. That's going to be for charging Shrejak. Here comes the setup now. And Marciniak, a correction is that Petra Androva goes up with the kill. And off the block and actually right past my head. I should have made a play on that ball, and I'm disappointed at myself, but I just tipped it. Timeout, 49ers, and head coach Karen Weatherspoon.
And we just missed the replay of that, but it was a very good play. And when Androva goes up like that, you do not want to be in the vicinity. The Niners got the block on it. They just couldn't get it to, or couldn't get the ball where they needed it to go for them to be able to attempt to get it, or to have a chance for a kill. But Don, what have you seen so far through this first set?
Falcons have come out strong. Both teams came out strong, but the Falcons have had a couple of really key moments where they've gotten up and really blocked the ball well. You know, Isabelle Marciniak and Meyer in on that block as well. Each team really with only block. I could have sworn it had been more, but there's the blocks, and then there's the blocks that don't show up in the stat sheet as well. There we go. Katie Kidwell has a solo block. there's blocks that show up in the stat sheet, official blocks, and then there's blocks that just kind of send the ball back. Also, UNC Charlotte has kind of had a couple of moments where they've been scrambling defensively, whether players are tripping over themselves or not. We did see the one where the libero Garcia tripped over one of her outside hitters trying to get back and scramble the play. She eventually made a play on the ball, but the Falcons were able to benefit. And then one player for 49ers I'm going to zoom in on is Tyra Galloway. 4 kills on 4 attempts with no errors. She's playing well already here in this one. Keep an eye out for her because she is definitely an important part of this offense. Again, she has 49 kills now on the season if you count the 4 from this match already. But Falcons do lead 14-10. It's going to be Isabelle, Marciniak, Walls, Petra Androva, Sauber, and Jacqueline Askin as we see the serve here from Isabelle. Here comes the setup now for Rowan. Rowan's going to be dug out by, that's Walls. Set up in the middle heel. Sauber is blocked, but it goes on the wrong side of the net for the 49ers. Goes right back down to the block attempt of Tyra Galloway. So Falcons up by 5 now as they'll get the point for that. Seems to be some confusion here for the Falcons, as actually seemed like Isabelle saw something her coach may have thought she saw. And there's Tyra Galloway again with her 5th attempt and 5th kill. Make it 15-11. They have got to find an answer for Tyra Galloway in the middle there. Back to serve will be Sydney Rowan. This is one up and over. Askin digs it out cleanly. Here comes Marciniak for Petra Androva with the power. Petra Androva's signature move is that power, and she's done well with it thus far this season.
And if she keeps playing like this, we're just going to keep saying her name over and over, as on the replay, that was one you would not want to get in front of.
Another service error. This time it's Walls putting a little bit too far on that far sideline for us. 16-12, 49ers get back within 4. Back to serve will be Tyra Galloway. Askins will get down to a knee to dig that one out. Going for Androva again. She goes cross court, right inbounds on that far side, gets it inbounds. Really well done by Petra Androva. That's what I've been impressed with the freshmen so far, Jacob, is oftentimes when you see those players with power, sometimes they struggle with the accuracy, but Petra Androva has done a really good job keeping it inbounds. She's got kind of that full package when it comes to power and touch and accuracy. She can go soft with it too. Kirsty Shaw serves this one up. Rowan. Now we'll put it up and serve it over to Stoner. Marciniak's going to set up Kidwell. Kidwell off of Garcia. And Garcia basically deflects it right into the opposite side of the court, over the net, but out of bounds. So Falcons will take a 6-point lead, 18-12.
And going back to Androva real quick, she now has 5 kills and 7 attempts, and really leading this Falcons lineup.
It's been the freshman show because Sauber has 4 kills.
4 kills on 5 attempts, and
Shaw.
Yeah, Askin has 2. That's about it for the Falcons. That one falls out of bounds.
Service ace for Kirsty Shaw after it was dug out by the 49ers and went right back to the other side of the net and just out of bounds. So Falcons cannot do anything wrong right now, as it's 19-12 for the orange and brown on top. That does force the timeout from Karen Witherspoon. She's now out of timeouts for this set. Falcons looking like stronger and stronger, like they're going to go up to that first set, 1-0 again. We are in the first set, and they lead 19-12. Donovan Mann, Jacob Seidel bringing you all the action right here, both on YouTube Live as part of the WBGU TV live stream with a partnership with the Athletics Communication Department, and of course on the BGRSO online source, Mixler.com. We'd like to thank you all for listening or viewing wherever you may be viewing. This is a second really quick timeout from both sides of both parties, or actually rather from the orange and brown. Jacob, what have you been seeing?
I've just been seeing a lot of fantastic defensive positioning. It seems every time there's a really big kill attempt by Charlotte, there's a Falcon in the area that's able to either dig it out or just set it up for the Falcons to try to send it back. Like, they really have not been able to do anything wrong thus far.
Certainly there are some things I'm sure they'd love to improve on, like the 2 service errors. They also do have that 1 services courtesy of Kirsty Shaw, who, ironically enough, that one went off of Molly Shaw. guarantee you there's no relation there because Kirsty's from Brazil, Indiana, and Molly's from Bristol, Tennessee. So I almost guarantee you there's no relation there, at least not, or at least there might be a distant one. We can go and look that up later. Here comes the dig up as Garcia will set this one over for Stoner. Stoner flips this one over, dug out by Walls. Marciniak, she's gonna go for Kidwell on the slide. It's blocked, kept alive by Marciniak. Walls going for Askin. Askin past the block. Garcia, high flying dig, gonna set up Stoner. Stoner's blocked at the net. Garcia keeps it alive. Here comes the setup now, and they're gonna call a error here on the Falcons. I believe they got up into the net. So we'll get the side out here for the 49ers. It's going to be 19-13. And a much-needed side out if you're a 49ers fan.
So, like I was saying,
Wetterstrom will kick into serve.
Like I was saying about the Falcons being in the right place at the right time, two attempts blocked, and they keep sending them back over.
Deception move by Marciniak. Garcia with the diving stop. Marciniak now sets up Kidwell going on the slide. A weak touch. Almost looked like she mistimed it, but either that or it's just a brilliant move there by Katie Kidwell. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Said that was just a really good play as that one just glanced off her fingers and down it went. No 49er player was ready. It was 20-13. Charlotte in the red zone up by, or rather, Bowling Green on top by 7. Here comes the setup for Stoner. Walls digs it out. Here comes Marciniak. She's going to go over for Meyer. Meyer tipped to the net. It's going to be dug out deep by Rowan. Here comes the setup now. That's for MacArthur. MacArthur finds that one a little bit too far to that far side. No tip. Point BG. 21-13. Falcons on top.
And again, Falcons can't do anything wrong right now, and Askin doing a good job serving right now.
On the slide, and just too much power on that one is Jocelyn Stoner. So a lot of errors committed by the University of North Carolina at Charlotte volleyball team. 49ers, you know, they are, of course, I know that drive very well being from Charlotte. It is a 9-hour drive, give or take, depending on how fast you're going. I'm assuming the bus is not going to go 80 to 85 miles per hour like some people I know. That one's blocked to the net. Kirsty Shaw keeps it alive. Here comes the setup now from Meyer over the block. Setting up this one now here for MacArthur. MacArthur's dug out by Walls. Marciniak, she's going to go for Meyer. Tipped by the block, dug out by Garcia. Here comes the setup now in the middle. That's going to be for Rowan. Rowan just finds that back line. Going to be 22-14 now. Falcons still on top, though, by 8. Continue my point there. You know, I don't know if it's maybe a little bit rusty knees from the drive. Obviously, they probably drove up yesterday. I guarantee you they didn't drive up today. And unless, of course, they intended to just sleep on the bus. Maybe, you know, having to sit on that bus or for a little bit too long, or perhaps just maybe they're just a little tired from that long drive they had yesterday. Something seems off with this 49er team, who is a very good volleyball team. 22-14, side out for the 49ers, and serving it is going to be Perrins. Walls is going to serve up here now for Kidwell. Kidwell finds the back corner, but it doesn't matter. It was tipped. But she does find that one inbounds, but the second official already ruled that there was a tip on that play. So it's now 23-14, 2 points away from a set 1 victory for the Falcons.
And someone we haven't heard from in just a little bit is Galloway, still 5 for 5, but Falcons haven't had an issue dealing with her.
She's also not on the court right now, might be why. Sauber sends that back with one hand. Here comes the setup for Wetterstrom. Over now to Stoner. Stoner dug out by Shaw. Marciniak is going to go to Meyer, dug out by Garcia, who's been all over the court right now. Here comes the throw over by, that's Rowan. Set up now here for Meyer. Meyer's blocked to the net, kept alive by the Falcons, just barely. Meyer gets it over the net, but they're gonna say the Falcons got in. Well, they're gonna say 4 touches on the Falcons. 23-23, and I think we're gonna see maybe the green card thrown down here. Maybe. And Danielle Tomich wants to know, hey, who all touched it? She's gonna consult with both the ref and the team, and the official does say, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, move on. So I don't think she necessarily likes that. Coach Tomich didn't look like she liked that answer very much, but she'll move on. It's 23-15, and we'll see Garcia back to serve, puts this one up and over the net. Haberlin will dig it out. Here comes Marciniak. She's going to go over for Meyer. Tip by the block. Garcia punches it under the net, trying to die for that one. Set point Falcons. It's 21-14. 24-15 rather. Marciniak back to serve. Falcon fans, the Stroh Center is on their feet for this one. Marciniak's going to be dug out. It's going to go right at the net. And it's Sauber who puts it right back down. 25-15, Falcons take set number 1 here in their opening match of the Bowling Green Invitational and their home opener for the 2019 season. A very impressive stat there, Jacob, or a very impressive start here, Jacob, for the Falcons.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to Androva and Sauber, both with 5 kills so far to lead the team, and really 5 on 7 for Androva, 5 on 6 for Sauber, and then everyone else just kind of filling in the rest, but really impressive. 8 digs for Walls already, by far leads the team and is tied for the best in the game. And we'll be right back. We got a quick break and set number 2 coming up right after this. You're listening to BGRSO's coverage of BG Women's Volleyball here on Mixler.com, as well as WBGU-TV YouTube Live.
A lot of broken plays. She just been putting balls back, and of course also getting involved a little bit on the defensive end with a dig and a couple of blocks that don't show up in the stat sheet. Anyway, 49ers get it off the serve for the Falcons. Walls is now going to go and set Meyer up. Meyer's tipped by the block. It's kept alive, and Garcia now going cross court to set up Rowan. Rowan dug out, tipped by the block. Marciniak is now going to go to Androva. Androva again! How do you do, Petra Androva? 6 kills now for the freshman. 1-0 Falcons, and we will see Marciniak serve again. Again, this is going right to left across your radio dial if you're listening at a service. Ace now for Isabelle Marciniak. That'll be her first on the season.
Second service ace for the Falcons today.
Marciniak to serve again, 2-0 lead, and this time from service ace to service errors. That one goes right into the net. It's going to be 2-1 now. 49ers get the side out. Back to serve on the side out will be Sydney Rowan. 16th set appearance now. She's one of 3 players for the 49ers who have appeared in all the sets so far. Garcia digs out the strong kill from Petra Androva. I'm sure her hands are stinging as miscommunication between Julia Walls and Jacqueline Askin results in a point for the 49ers. Julia Walls was calling for it and then backed off at the last moment, as so did Jacqueline Askin. But if you're going to call that one, if you're Julia Walls, if you call that one, you better expect to be the one getting it. You don't back out. And that's, I think, just an error there. But they make up for it here, and the 49ers give the point right back as Sydney Rowan, the High Point, North Carolina native, gets that one. A little bit too far on the serve. It's 3-2 and another service error there on the 49ers. That'll be their second of the game. Back to serve will be Paulina Isabelle. Up and just into the net. I mean, that's one of those ones where it almost rolls over and it looks brilliant, but when it doesn't roll over, it doesn't look brilliant. That's to say the least. Tyra Galloway will go back to serve now. Galloway with 2 service aces on the season. Puts this one up and into the net. So back-to-back, or what is that, back-to-back service errors?
Let me check, hang on, we got the...
Yes, 3 service errors in a row. First on Sydney Rowan, then Paulina Isabelle, and then Tyra Galloway.
And now Bowling Green has 4 service errors to Charlotte's 3, so...
This one's dug out. Here comes the setup right at the net, and tipped right back down as that one went a little bit over. Askin's tried to throw it down, but it's kept alive. Walls will dig out the attack attempt there by the 49ers. Askin gets this one over the block. Garcia digs it out. Here comes the setup now in the middle. It's dug out, and actually, no, it's not, as the dig goes out of bounds. 49ers once again tie it up at 4.
And the 49ers, they're not going to go away quietly.
Look at that kill attempt right there. Walls could not get to that one after it was tipped off the block. Hitting Sydney Rowan with the kill. Another player we expect to play a huge part of this. Go ahead.
49ers aren't going to go away quietly. They are a very good team, and they're trying to show they can play with the big boys.
Kidwell tries to go sidearm with that one. Blocked at the net. Down it goes off of a 49er player, and then out of bounds. Kidwell in on that block again. I make that 5-4 Falcons on top. On the side out, Kirsty Shaw will check in for Petra Androva to serve. Petra Androva got some chances to serve in the Invitational last week, but we just kind of saw this back and forth thing where she would either serve or she would be rotated out as Kirsty Shaw would serve. Right now it looks like Shaw will be serving here early in this one. Marciniak's going to go to Askin. Askin's going to be dug out. That's Rowan. Setting up here now in the middle for the 49ers. Back it's thrown, and Isabelle Marciniak with the kill. And she just threw that one back over. Kill number 12, I believe that is for Isabelle Marciniak on the season.
And looking at that replay, she just saw that the 49ers would not be in a position to make that play if she just tipped it back over and put it in the perfect spot. That was great situational awareness.
Good serve there by Shaw as it had just the right amount of air on it. Sydney Rowan tried to dig it out, but she caught herself in that position, and the dig just went right back to the bottom side of the net. So Falcons get the service ace there. Kirsty Shaw doing what she does best with her second service ace. Falcons now lead by 3, 7-4. It's Kirsty Shaw to serve again. It's going to be dug out this time cleanly by Rowan. Here comes the setup now. That's going to be for Lyde. Lyde dug out by Walls on the slide there. Now going for Askin. Askin goes up. Tips that one over. It's going to be dug out there by Wetterstrom. Set up here now for Rowan. Rowan dug out by Shaw. Here comes Marciniak in the middle for Kidwell. Kidwell dug out by Garcia. Throwing it back over, that's Lyde. Walls. Marciniak going here on the near side for Askin. Askin tipped off the block, and it goes down inbound near the baseline for the Falcons' kill. And Jacqueline Askin, the Louisville slugger, as I like to call her, the junior, 8-4. Kirsty Shaw to serve again. Puts this one up, and it gets over the net, but just a little bit too far. And that'll be a service error there on Kirsty Shaw. 8-5, Falcons still up by 3. On the side out here, rotating in to serve is going to be number 4 for the 49ers, Sophie Perrins. She's rotating and taking out Melanie Lyde. The serve goes up and over. It just lands in bounds. That one was close, but just right there on the line, it does find its spot. It's 8-6.
Yeah, that was probably the closest one we've seen. In game 1, we did have a review of one of those, but that looked like it hit right in front of that line.
Marciniak's going to go for Askin. Askin, it is tipped, but it goes straight down on the 49ers side, so the block unsuccessful, not quite close enough to the net to make that one really effective. And so Falcons up again. As you see that replay there, it was just not quite the greatest of blocks, but again, that's just at Jacqueline Askin with the power too. She serves. It'll be dug out by Perrins. Garcia with communication. This one gets pumped right back over. Marciniak with the one-handed throw down on the second touch, and it bounces off a 49 player and out of bounds for the Falcon point. So Askin, we will see her serve again. 10-6, Falcons on top.
Falcons showing a lot of deception moves so far here in the first and second sets.
Garcia digs that one out. Here comes the setup now for Stoner. Stoner's tipped at the net, kept alive. Walls, second punch, goes back over, thrown back down. Tipped to the net, Askin to Marciniak, who just throws it over, just finds that back corner. That one was a beautifully placed ball. And this will issue a timeout from the head coach, Weatherspoon, for the 49ers. See if we can get a replay on that one there. That was just a beautifully placed ball there by Jacqueline Askin. I thought, here we go. See the tip, put up there, and then actually Marciniak goes with it, just finds that back corner. I mean, Jacob, it doesn't get much better than that. That's the second time she's done something like that.
Look at it again here. It's unbelievable that she can just get it right in there, and literally looks like less than an inch in front of that back line there. Thanks to WBGU-TV for getting us that replay.
The Falcons lead 11-6. Marciniak now fixing her offense. Of course, she has 18 assists. She leads that category easily for all players. Now, she now has 3 kills to her name, all coming in this set. And she's now right behind Jacqueline Askin, who has 4. As Petra Androva has not returned to the court in a little bit, and Sauber has not seen action too much in this set either.
Falcons hitting at a 375 clip right now, which is fantastic.
And you know,
compared to the 49ers, just 135. And it's not that they're not hitting the balls and getting kills. It's just like the Falcons are playing a faster tempo game almost, it looks like that.
And yeah, you see there's that one. Last season, that would be my one criticism for the Falcons if I were to have one. The defending regular season champions, they sometimes struggled offensively. They were inconsistent, not this year. This year, in the 3 matches I've seen them, except for that Notre Dame game, which I kind of write off as being a Power 5 versus Group of 5 opponent. But in these other 2 games, they looked really crisp and clean offensively. And here again against the 49ers, great. And you know what? People often say, well, you sacrifice defense for offense. Not here, though. The Falcons, again, showing themselves as a good defensive team as well as Askins serves this one up and over. Dug out by Perrins. It's going to be set up now here for Rowan. Dug out by Askins. Go back to the other side of the court. Lands just in bounds. So confident where the 49ers that was going out of bounds that literally standing right there was Jocelyn Stoner, and she just watches that one fall right at her feet.
And I think that's just a mental miscue. Those balls are so close, you usually have to play those.
Here comes the setup in the middle. Blocked by Askins! Trying to go with it there was Blaine Strajak, but she's unable to do it, and Askin gets the block there. So Askin will go back, or actually Kidwell gets the block there. Askin is back to serve. Caitlin Meyer will also be credited with a block. Almost a service ace as Garcia mishandles that one, now has to throw it back over for a free play. Marciniak for Kidwell on the slide off the block, and down it goes. There is flying, then there is soaring, and then there's what the Falcons are doing right now here on the volleyball court today. 14-6, again they're off to a quick start. Jacqueline Askin to serve again. Up and over. It's going to be dug out. It's going to be right at the net, but it is set up. Tips it over the block. Meyer gets down to dig it out. Marciniak's now going to go to Kidwell in the middle with the tip. Garcia digs it out. Meyer throws it back over.
And the Falcons with the tip drill really they're using it to their advantage. Charlotte.
Yeah, we see the replay here. I mean, perfectly placed tip back by Meyer after Kidwell's tip was just barely dug out back over the net. Here comes the serve again. Another low dig. Askin gets down to dig out. Marciniak jabbing at the net. She lost, but Kidwell cleans it out. Here comes Walls from Meyer. Meyer go over the block. It's going to be dug out. Here comes the setup now. That's going to be for Kaylin White, who goes a little bit too far with that one. It's now a 16-6 game. And boy, the Falcons are on it, and the 49ers are not, as Kaylin White with the attack error. This is not what I expected to see in these first two sets between these two teams, but I'm sure Falcon Faithful will take it. Blocked at the net again, but goes a little bit too far and out of bounds.
And that's a big break for Charlotte right there. They need to get ready to serve here, try to get some points while they control how the ball starts. As it's going to be, Yumi Garcia back to serve.
Yumi Garcia back to serve again in that white libero jersey with the green stripe that goes down the side, and I think there's some of that gold that runs down their sides of their every jersey. Marciniak off of the dig, gives it over to Meyer. Meyer will get past the block. Garcia digs it out. Here comes the setup. She's going to go far side. That is for Rowan. Walls with another dig. Going it up Meyer. Meyer beats the block. It's tipped, and out of bounds it goes. It might have been touched twice. Tipped twice, rather, but it definitely hit, I think, at the block. I can't tell if it hit that second player or not because it was going so fast. Let's check the replay here. As it goes, definitely gets tipped by the block, and I'm not sure if that back player there ended up with a hand on it or not, but it doesn't matter. 17-7, Falcons up by 10 as Kidwell will serve. Up, gets over the net. It's going to be dug out there by Perrins. It's going to be set up here now. And thrown just a little bit too far. Another attack error there on UNCC. 18-7 and timeout UNC Charlotte. So Falcons really just, what can you say? I think really at this point though, the 49ers are hurting themselves just as much as the Falcons are helping themselves. I mean, 10 kills with no errors, Jacob, on 21 attempts for a 476 in the set. Meanwhile, 3 kills with 4 errors on 21 attempts for the 49ers in Charlotte.
Yeah, 4 errors, like 21, and they're hitting a negative .048, which is a little bit abysmal to.
Not just a little bit, that's bad.
It's bad.
Not just to be blunt about it, but.
No,
but no, all in all, it's a combination of the both. The 49ers, this is not the team I expected to hit the court, I think, Jacob. And I thought this was going to be a lot closer contested. Again, this is only the second set, but there's still a lot of volleyball that could be played. Right now, the Falcons looking very confident coming out here and taking this one. And I think, honestly, after the way they lost to Notre Dame last weekend, this is what they needed to do. They reinsert confidence in themselves. Of course, this is their home opener, so the Falcon faithful love their team here.
And a pretty good crowd for noon on a Friday.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I expect tonight's game against, what is it, Butler tonight?
I believe it is Butler.
The primetime 7 p.m. game, that'll be right here on Mixler, unless we can get the Falcon radio situation fixed up, as well as the YouTube live stream brought to you by WBGU-PBS, partnership with Bowling Green Athletics Communication Department. It'll be on there. Definitely. It'll be Adam Gaughan. It'll be Zach Smith on the call for that one. Kidwell will go back to serve again. Again, Falcons leading 1-0, and they lead 18-7 here in set number 2. Katie Kidwell. You just see in her eyes exactly where she wants to put that ball. It's going to be dug out by Perrins. Garcia's going to go ahead and set up Rowan. Rowan's going to be dug out by Shaw. Haviland is going to go over to Meyer. Meyer dug out by Garcia. Here comes the setup going over there now for Rowan. Rowan dug out by Haviland. Here comes the setup for Meyer. Put back on the Falcon side, so Shaw will get a chance here for Marciniak to set up Sauber. Sauber on the slide with a little bit of touch. And no way, no how Anika Wetterstrom could get that one up, as she was just, the entire defense is fooled by that one. Normally when they come up strong like that on the slide, they usually look a little bit more for power, but Sauber, the freshman, with some touch. Make that 6 kills for her. She's tied with Petra Androva for the lead in the match. 19-7, Falcons on top big time by 12. Kidwell to serve. It's up and over net. It's going to be dug out. Here comes the setup now in the middle. And for the first time today, Galloway does not get a kill on a touch. Here comes Meyer. She's tipped by the net, or by the block. It's kept alive by the 49ers. Sent over for a free play. Shaw. Marciniak. Deception move. Marciniak playing a huge part in the offense with more than just her passing. That is 4 kills on 6 attempts for a 667 hitting percentage.
Yeah, you have to give credit to Yumi Garcia, though. She dove for that ball, gave it her all, and just came up about an inch short.
By the way, correction, that was Galloway's second time this year touched the ball and not made it. And Galloway right here will get the kill. She puts that one right in the face of Katie Kidwell, who just reflects it back towards her coaching staff on the sideline. And then they're all laughing over it right now because of the score in this game. They're okay to laugh and say, haha, we almost died. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody's died like that. Anyway, this is going to be served by Ray Umas. Myers gets set up by Marciniak, and Meyer with the kill. As unable to dig that one out was defensive specialist Sophie Perrins, a Norwegian native. 21-8. And back to serve will be Isabelle Marciniak again. Up and over. It's going to be dug out. Here comes the setup now. It's going to go over here for Rowan. Rowan tip to the net. Helps rather Marciniak to get to it. Walls going to set up Meyer. Brings the setup of the net for Galloway. And Galloway again proving to be really the only consistent offensive weapon for the 49ers. And she gets another kill there. That's 7 to her name now. She now leads all players, and she's done it on 9 attack attempts with no errors.
Marciniak had a good attempt at that. She was just a bit too far back.
Marciniak's in the setup and Drova. She's blocked. Not often does it happen, but she is blocked this time. Walls is going to go to Myers on the opposite side. Now tipped. And tipped again by Sydney Rowan before it eventually goes out of bounds. And Falcons get the point there. It's 22-9. Cruising to this set 2 victory. It's going to be Paulina Icabelli checking in alongside Jacqueline Askin as Caitlin Meyer and Taylor Haberlin check out on the regular rotation. And now just a very bad play. 49ers send it over. It's going to be Walls. Marciniak over to Androva, who goes soft this time with the kill. I mentioned she can go hard and then she can go soft in there. We just see the pretty little tip by Petra Androva. 23-9, Falcons on top. It's going to be Paulina Icabelli. It's going to be dug out there by Rowan. Set up here now and thrown down, but Walls digs out the kill attempt there by Imani Mcarthur. And here comes Sauber. She gets a little bit of the net as she goes down. The ball rather gets a little bit of the net as it goes down, but set point BG is Sauber with kill number 7. She is tied with Petra Androva and Galloway in that category for the match lead. Garcia dugs it out where it gets set up and way too much as it hits the official on the attack there from Melania Lied rather. And so Falcons dominate set 2, 25-9. 49ers with a 0 hitting percentage, I think, is the number one point out in that second set.
I'd say the Falcons hitting at 500 would be
okay, that's another one
two.
16 kills on 32 attempts and no errors. That's a beautiful set of offensive display for the Falcons.
And, through now 2 sets, Falcons hitting at 419. That's incredible, especially considering Charlotte, who started off pretty well in the first set, now hitting at 087. with 1 ace. Falcons have 3 aces, 33 kills to 16 for the 49ers, 39 digs to 35, and 6 block assists.
So take a look at some of these replays here again. Petra Androva going up strong with the power there. She's really got that working out for her. Here comes Katie Kidwell with that awkward kind of deflection with her hand. And then, of course, the power of Sauber right there getting up at the net, putting it back. And then here's Androva and Kidwell maybe getting a hand on that, might have hit the net. But you just look at some of these plays. Everybody getting involved with this offense. Everybody getting involved up at the net, getting those blocks. It's just really just a beautiful display from the Falcons all the way around. Most complete game I've seen from the Falcons in a very, very long time. Definitely a much-needed turnaround from that final match in the Golden Dome Invitational. Here again, the Falcons, they want to defend their home court. As long as they can win at the Stroh Center, that's an important part of their game plan. You know, you got to win at home, and wins on the road will come. You can't expect to win all the ones on the road, but I think the Falcons expect to win all the ones at home, especially against like opponents such as the 49ers, like Butler, like we're going to see later at clock at 7, like Cleveland State, like we'll see later on tomorrow. And then, of course, conference play will be the next time we see them on home court after this invitation. We will step aside for a brief moment, and when we come back, we will have more BGSU volleyball as they try to go for the sweep against the Charlotte 49ers. This is Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization's coverage of BGSU volleyball right here on Mixler.com, as well as joined in part with WBGU-TV. I'll be right back and hopefully have a better talk. Getting ready for set number 3 here at the Stroh Center. The orange and brown of the Bowling Green State University Falcons are coming out after a very dominant 25-9 set 2 victory. They now lead 2 sets to none rather, heading into set 3. It's going to be Marciniak, Kidwell, Askin, looks like Meyer, Petra Androva, and Sauber. But we await to see who Julia Walls rotates in for. It's going to be Katie Kidwell. So Walls will rotate in the libero. And now we take a look here at the 49ers. It looks like it's going to be Jocelyn Stoner, joined by Lyde. McArthur is out there with Tyra Galloway. We see Sydney Rowan, and it looks like the libero Yumi Garcias, apologized, will be replaced with Rayoum. The officials, of course, have to check the lineups, make sure everybody's on the court, and the second official is saying, yep, let's go. Come on, Garcia, step in. And actually, Garcia's going to actually step in and replace Jocelyn Stoner on the start of the set rotation. Again, Falcons had pretty much have had their way in this invitational match between the 49ers. They have it a 25-8 victory in the second set, and a pretty dominant display of offense in the second set as well, as we almost see Sauber get her next kill, but Garcia has to send this one over for a free play. Walls. Marciniak is now going to go over to Androva. Off the block and down it goes, out of bounds, so called a tip and out of bounds. Falcons get the first point here in set number 3, picking up right where they left off as we see Caitlin Meyer change out as Icabelli will go back to serve. Paulina Icabelli, her sister, still recovering from a leg injury last season that kept her out of the entire season. So when we see Victoria Icabelli, we do not know, but it's Paulina Icabelli who is serving there, as now we see the 49ers get the kill on that one. Credit Tyra Galloway, who just continues to be an efficient offensive force with 8 kills already in this one. This one's served up by Rowan. Dug out by Icabelli on the dive. Here comes Marciniak going over to Askin. Askin's blocked in the net. Marciniak keeps it alive. Punched up by Icabelli, who ends up touching her elbow as she rolled over. So that's a double touch on Icabelli. There was really no Falcon who was going to be able to make the play on that. Anyway, 49ers lead 2-1. Donovan Mann, Jacob Seidel bringing you the call here from the Stroh Center for set 3 of BGSU volleyball. Here's a service error on Sydney Rowan. Another issue for the 49ers has been their serving. They've now got 5 service errors, or actually 4 service errors on the match to just 1 service ace. Walls serves this one into the net, so back-to-back service errors, as that's the Falcons' 6th service error. They do have 3 service aces. Back to serve is going to be Tyra Galloway. Back to serve. Again, offensive efficiency is her name. As we see this one just thrown over by Petra Androva after the second touch, which is kind of an awkward throwdown. Here's tipped by the block. Marciniak slides down to get it. Walls goes over to Askin. Askin tipped to the block. Kidwell will dig it out. Here comes Marciniak from Petra Androva. Androva goes soft! And you could just tell they were definitely playing her there for power. You could definitely see there was nobody backing up that block close enough, so they were definitely playing Androva there, I think, for power.
As we get a replay of it.
Look at that touch.
Again, Androva, she's just good at recognizing, or good situational awareness to recognize where the defense is and what they're looking for and what they're not.
You don't get that often in freshmen, but when you do, it is glorious. As Shaw serves that one up, and it's a service ace for Shaw. After the initial dig goes off on Sydney Rowan. And now, I've noticed Rowan has kind of struggled here on the serve, on the receiving end of a serve. So perhaps a game plan situation. The Falcons kind of noted that and have kind of used that to their advantage. As Shaw will once again try to serve Rowan, but she goes a little bit too far with this one on the service error. But you can definitely tell, I think that's the game plan, is when she's on the court, and she's, I don't think, left the court much. Serve Sydney Rowan.
And Shaw now with 3 service aces. Unfortunately, she also has 2 service errors, but
4-4 your score. Berg checking into the match for the first time, serves that one up and over. It's going to be Askin with power. It goes off of Rowan. Garcia somehow keeps it up, and the Berg just tosses it over. Free play. Walls with dig. Marciniak going for Askin off the block with power. 5-4. Jacqueline Askin with another kill. That will give her 6 on the match. She's tied there with Caitlin Meyer, but it's Petra Androva with 9 that leads the way for all players and the Falcons. Askin to serve. Icabelli will rotate out, as I believe Caitlin Meyer rotating back in. Serve, back up and over the mat. Meyer rotates that back over. Deception move. Shaw slides to get it. Marciniak over to Meyer. Meyer off of Garcia. Good play there by Garcia. Here comes the setup now for Lyde. Walls takes it out. Marcidia for Askin on the slide. Direction. Kidwell on the slide with the kill.
That's Sydney Rowan right there. She just could not get behind the ball, so when she dug it out, it just kind of went behind her to her right. Good placement by the Falcons, who now lead at 6-4.
Askin is dug out there on the end by Berg. Here comes the setup for, that is Lyde. Lyde gets it down off the block. It goes straight down on the Falcons side, and the Falcons only lead by 1 now. It's 6-5. Lyde with the kill. Back to serve. It will be Nalani Lyde, a freshman from Washington District of Columbia, aka Washington, D.C. Shaw digs this one out, but they are going to actually call it a service ace, as they say she got to it after it hit the court, so tied at 6 now. Service ace for Lyde. Attended Sidwell Friends School. That'll be her second service ace of the year. She puts this one a high flying serve, and this one a lot. She tosses it up high, and a little bit too much power on that one. That's a service error, so from ace to error for Lyde, 7-6, we see the side out. Kidwell back to serve. Walls will rotate out as Sauber will rotate back in. This one's going to be dug out and off of Berg. So it is a service ace for Katie Kidwell. That'll be the fifth of the match for the Falcons. But for Katie Kidwell, I gotta believe that's her second one. Yes, it is. Wait, no, it is not. It's her first. It's gonna be dug out. Here comes the set. Meyer just puts it right back. And we have a player down on the court. No, this does not look good. She went down kind of awkwardly to Mackenzie Ramu, and she is holding that knee. We will step aside while they attend to her. You are listening and watching BGRSO's coverage of BGSU Volleyball here from the Bowling Green Invitational. We will be right back. Back here from the Stroh Center, they are getting Mackenzie Raum off the court now. She fell awkwardly on her knee, immediately started holding that knee. She will be taken out to the locker room to observe further there, but it did not look good, Jacob. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked like her left leg there. Not going to speculate what it is, but we wish her the best and hope for a speedy recovery.
And, the Stroh Center went absolutely quiet. A lot of concerned looks in the face, and I think she's got family in the crowd because there's a group immediately going to go check on her in the locker room. So I hope she is all right. I hope it is more of a stinger than anything, but you hate to see that.
Unfortunately, injuries are a part of sports, but you never want to see it happen.
So Kidwell will have to serve now after the break, and she will end up a service error there. And we're back underway. Again, Falcons leading 2-1. They now lead 9-7 here at the Stroh Center. And again, Katie Kidwell went from service ace, or actually she had a service ace earlier in this sequence, but that is a service error there for her. There was the attack error by Mackenzie Rowan between that sequence. Here comes the setup now for Caitlin Meyer. Meyer will go down with the kill.
Get the replay. That was just a fantastic hit there from Meyer.
So back to serve is going to be Isabelle Marciniak. She's going to put this one up and over the net. It'll be dug out there. And set up now for Rowan. Meyer digs that one out. Askin is going to go in the middle here for Sauber. Sauber's dug out there by blocked at the net. It's Indrova and Sauber. Looked like that was Sydney Rowan trying to go on the attack there, but she got blocked by a couple of big freshmen. Back to serve will be Marciniak again. This one's going to put this one up and over the net. It's going to be dug there by Taylor Berg. Haverland. It's going to be set up there by Marciniak for Indrova. Indrova's going to be dug out right back, and Meyer just throws it right back down. It was right up at the net, and nobody even tried to go for it.
And that's going to bring a timeout from Karen Wetherington.
And of course, you know, they did get the point right after the break for the injury. But then right out, you know, those injuries, they can be deflators as well, you know, especially when they are that bad. We see a replay here of the throwback by Meyer. A good play. You know, the Falcons just continue to pick up right where they left off in set number 2 and really 1. Just dominant. And, you know, they only lead by 5 here in this one, as opposed to pretty much never leading by more than 5 after the early goings of that second set. But right now, I think it's just the time to refocus here for Karen Weatherspoon. Time to, you know, we know what happened there with Mackenzie Room, and I'm not going to mention it too much more, but that is part of the game. You know, now it's time to refocus the team, kind of reset everything, because that can hurt a team very badly, especially when the Falcons are flying so high. You know, moving on now from the injury, Isabelle Marciniak will go back to serve. It's a quick timeout actually from both sides, as they both are back out before it's even 30 seconds over in the timeout, so we're just going to cut this timeout short. Both teams broke that huddle very quickly. Marciniak back to serve. So it's going to be dug out there by Berg. Here comes the setup now for Rowan. Rowan dug out by Haviland. Walls steps over Haviland to get to it, and then Meyer puts it back over for a free play. Berg setting up in the middle for Tyra. Tyra off the block and down it goes, so another kill by Tyra. This one goes off the block and out of bounds. 12-8.
One thing I've noticed about Charlotte since the break between the second and third sets, their communication seems to be a lot better. It seems like they're communicating more verbally than they were now and letting each other know what they're doing.
Walls takes the serve out. That's Indrova goes soft. It gets put back down, dug out. And now Sauber is just going to go far with it. But they're going to say that, I believe they're going to say a 49er got into the net. So that'll be a Falcon point, and lucky because Sauber will put that way too far. And are we going to see the green card thrown down?
We've seen the green card.
Looks like Weatherspoon is going to put down the green card, so we will see a challenge, and we will look at a replay here shortly. Interesting to see. I didn't see the net move too much. Again, Charlotte, the call on the court is Charlotte got up into the net, or somehow ended up touching the net. So once we get the replay rolling here, we will give our analysis of the situation. So it's either a point for the 49ers on Sauber's attack error, or a point on the 49ers, a point for the Falcons on an error by 49ers. Looks like the replay was quick before we could even get it, so they do say point Falcons. They confirm the call, so again, of course, the difference between confirmed versus stand. Confirmed means there was evidence. Stand means they didn't really have any evidence to go either other way, so you got to go with the call. Icabelli will serve. It's 13-8 Falcons. It's going to be dug out there by Rowan. Here comes the setup for Tyra, who, wow, what a delayed hit, but does get that one off. And then Sauber over the block with the touch. And been very impressed by the freshman play here between both of these players. Look at this play here by Sauber. Whoop! Right in the middle of the defense.
Now Sheehan and Drova both have 9 kills.
Dug out there on the serve. Here comes the setup now for MacArthur. Dug out by Ikebeli. Marciniak is going to go for Sauber again. This time she tries to go with a little bit more power on the touch. As you see this one go cross court with no block, tip, or anything of the sort. So an attack error there on the 49ers. Again, not having their greatest offensive display. 15-8 now, Falcons. Cindy Rowan on the attack error. Here comes the setup now for Rowan. Tip, dug out by Androva. Here comes Marciniak. She's going to go for Askin. Askin, dug out by Garcia. Here comes the setup now, and just flipped over for free play by Perrins. Marciniak is going to go now for Askin again. She'll go with soft touch this time. It's MacArthur to dig it. And now just tapped back over again by Rowan. Walls after Marciniak gets the first touch from Androva. Goes with power this time, and it's into the seats behind the bench of the 49ers off of Androva with the kill there. And boy, power and a tip really just helps. And Androva, she just doesn't seem like she can do anything wrong today. 10 kills for her now today. That's a match-leading 10 kills. Here's the dig off the serve. Here comes the setup on the slide. It's Tyra. That is Tyra Galloway, dug out by Waltz. Askin is blocked, but the block goes out of bounds on the Falcons side. So another point for the Falcons. It's now 17-8. Askins with the kill.
And we've seen the Falcons jumping out to these leads in all 3 sets so far. And it doesn't look like they're going to turn around as there's another service error.
Ikebeli on the service error there as it goes into the net. So that'll end the run there for the Falcons. It's now 17-9 for the 49ers. Still trailing by 8.
That is the 10th service error on the Falcons.
Sydney Rowan puts this one up and over. Dug out by Ikebeli. Here comes Marciniak for Androva. Androva finds the back corner there. A beautifully placed ball, but actually it doesn't even matter because I think they said the 49ers hit the net. So point BG. Yes, I do believe a 49er hit the net. So it's going to be 18-9 BG on top. Walls to serve. Up, over. Dug out by Garcia. It's going to go right back near the net. Just put back down. Now they're going to say they're going to say a reach over there by the 49ers. So really just hurting themselves here in this one. And another much needed timeout here as we watch this play. Yeah, there was a kind of a reach over move there, I believe, by Anika Wetterstrom. Just look at this. Yeah, she definitely tried to reach and pull that ball back over.
That was a good call by the up judge there to see that one. Falcons might have had a little bit of trouble, but they did have a good block there. I believe that was from Kidwell, wasn't it?
19-9. 49ers have not looked sharp all day, and here in this third set, once again, they don't look sharp. And you know, the 49ers, they do, I believe, they are in the next match as well. They have to play Cleveland State, I believe, in the next one. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is
so,
Cleveland State and Charlotte in the next matchup. And it is at 5 p.m. and then
that's brutal. I mean, back-to-back matches, there's a pretty decent time built in there, a couple hours, but still having to do back-to-back matchups. But for the 49ers, it's looking more and more like they're going to get swept again. You never call it until the final buzzer, or I don't know, final point. I guess you call it match point here. Never call it till match point, but at this time for the 49ers, they're just, I don't see a lot of heart out there for them here in this one. Again, maybe it was the bus ride yesterday, probably maybe got in a little late, but right now the Falcons just playing with some fury in this one. Walls to serve again, it's 19-9. Falcons on top by 10, it's gonna be dug out, it's gonna be far, but keeping it in track is Imani Mcarthur. Dug out here by Petra Androva, going over across court now for Askin. Askin dug out by Garcia. There comes the setup now for Lyde. Lyde dug out, here comes the setup now for Askin. Askin. And Marciniak will just put it over for a free play. And here comes the block. And it's a successful one. Katie Kidwell was actually, no, they're going to say, well, it was a block, and I believe they're going to say a lift ball will be the result of the official point. But yeah, ball handling error there on Anika Wetterstrom.
Yeah, that is what they called it.
So 20-9. Here comes the setup now over for Lyde. Lyde. It's dug out by Marciniak back onto the 49er side. Going to set it up in here, middle, for Tyra Galloway, who's been the one bright spot for the 49ers here in this one. As it's 20-10, she gets another kill to her name. That's 10. One error in 16 attack attempts, hitting .562. She'll serve. Dug out by Wall. It's kind of low, but Ikebeli will keep it up. Here comes the setup for Askin. Will go soft with the touch. Lyde digs it out. Here comes the setup now for MacArthur. Marciniak gives it over to Askin. Askin finds the back line there. Perfectly placed ball by Jacqueline Askin. It's going to be 21-10. Shaw will rotate in for Petra Androva to serve.
And just beautiful placement about right near the basketball foul line there. Just, you couldn't ask for a better spot.
Kersey Shaw to serve. Left to right across your listening device. And if you're watching on YouTube, you already knew that she was serving left to right. Here comes the setup for Askin, who finds the back corner again. 22-10. Jacqueline Askin close to joining the double-digit club. She is now in kills. She's now tied with Lexi Sauber for second most by the Falcons in this one. Again, Petra Androva with 11 leads all players in that category. 22-10, Falcons leading by 12 as Shaw will serve again. She puts this one up and over. It's going to be dug out. Here comes the setup now for that. It's going to be Lied, dug out. Going to go from Marciniak over for Askin. Askin tipped to the net. Garcia keeps it alive. Serving it up in the middle there, that's Stoner. Shaw with the dig out. Garcia runs in to go ahead and get the play set. Going to be setting it up now for Rowan. Rowan blocked by Kidwell, kept alive. Here's now the setup. Dug out by, that's Isabelle. Going over for Askin. Askin tipped by the block, off of Lied, and then Garcia, the third touch, slides over. Actually, no, now it's the third touch, but it hits the pin, as it was a very far try to send over there by Rowan, just to get it over the net. And it hits the pin on its way over. Otherwise, it would have been over the net. Now, I don't think there was going to be a Falcon there to try to get that one, but
that was very impressive.
Look at this scramble here by the 49ers.
From in front of the student section bleachers, like that's crazy.
And a service ace for Kirsty Shaw, and it's match point for the Falcons, 24-10. Stroh Center is on their feet here in this one. Falcons trying to get their first sweep of the 2019 season. Shaw up, over, dug out, and almost a service ace, but it's kept alive and then just flipped back over. Shaw digs it out. Marciniak for Kidwell. Kidwell on the slide. Into the stands it goes off of Sydney Rowan. Point set match. Falcons take it here in straight sets.
And what a match that was to open up the 2019 home campaign. And the second match of this Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational. And I don't know about you, but I think we have to go with Petra Androva as the player of our match here.
Whew, that's a hard one. Petra Androva definitely played a huge part in this one. 11 kills on 18 attempts for a .611 hitting percentage. And a couple of blocks to her name and a couple digs. 12 points in all. So Petra Androva, yes, you would have to name her the player of the match.
And then like a close second would probably be Jacqueline Askin. 10 kills on 28 attempts, 10.5 points with, is that 3 digs, I believe is what that says?
Yes, it does. And so that will just about conclude our broadcast here. BGSU Volleyball, though, doing a really good job here, opening their home schedule with a straight set, not just a straight set sweep, but a dominant straight set sweep. And, you know, once again, we're just going to say we hope that number 3, Mackenzie Raum, is doing well. Again, she went down with a terrible-looking injury. We hope she is doing well. We hope it's nothing too serious, but it did not look pretty. But the Falcons, and, you know, valiant effort by the 49ers. They will be back in action here at about 5 p.m. for their second match in the Invitational here at BGSU. They fall to 3-2 on the season. 2 straight losses for them. Meanwhile, Falcons get back in the win column. They now have a 2-2 record, and including a 1-0 record here at home. They will be back again in action at 7 p.m. later today to take on the Butler Bulldogs, who fell in their first match in the Invitational earlier today to the Cleveland State Vikings, who will be the 49ers opponent here in a couple of hours, a few hours rather.
Too many mascots to keep track of, Donovan.
Let's see, we've got Vikings, Falcons, Bulldogs, and 49ers.
Yep.
49ers not a mascot? Anyway, that will just about conclude our broadcast for today, but before we go, I'd like to send a couple of thank yous. First, we'd like to thank Kyle Edmond, the SID of the volleyball team, as well as the entire athletics communication staff here at Bowling Green State University. We'd like to thank Rick Bussell, the chairman of the Media Productions and Studies Department, as well as Jim Faust, the chair of the Journalism Department here at BGSU. We'd like to thank Jim Barnes, our Chief Technical Director at the WBGU and Falcon Radio. Those are our radio stations here at BGSU. He plays a huge part in making sure everything works properly. And we'd also like to thank, I know I'm missing something.
Phil Beskett.
Phil Beskett, there we go.
The faculty advisor.
For Falcon Radio, as well as WBGU, as well as Ken Garland, who plays the role of faculty advisor for BG.
And Bob Bortel.
As well. Bob Bortel, the chair or the head of all Falcon media. And then lastly, my broadcast partner, Jacob Seidel. Jacob, thank you so much for joining me on these two games. These two matches here. This has been a presentation of Bowling Green Athletics. For more information and news about BGSU athletics, feel free to go to bgsufalcons.com for up-to-date schedules, up-to-date news, as well as all things Falcon sports. This has also been a presentation of BGRSO. For more information about the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization, go to BGSU Falcon, or go to falconmedia.com. Click under the sports tab. You'll find some information about us there, as well as broadcast profiles, current up-to-date, should be up-to-date broadcast schedule as well. You can also look us up on Twitter and Facebook at BGRSO. Again, the Falcons take a win here in straight sets, win 3-0 in a dominant fashion over the Charlotte 49ers. For Jacob Seidel, I'm Donovan Mann saying roll on, BG. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here at 7 or so for the Butler match.